This is Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice, a short story written by myself. It was that time of year again. Marvelous shades of oranges, yellows, and reds surrounded every corner, and the smell of cinnamon filled the air. Countless decorations displayed spooky scenes, while candles lined the mantels. The perfect excuse to wear cozy sweaters all day and consume impossible amounts of pumpkin-themed sweets, all in one season. Autumn, and more specifically, Halloween. Roman didn't often admit how much he enjoyed the holiday, though it truly was a spectacle. How could one not love the chance to dress up as anything, all while bonding over hot teen horror movies? He had been preparing for weeks, constructing various decorations and donning every pair of wool socks he owned. Currently, he was sitting in his room, attempting to come up with the perfect playlist as Halloween was that night. Roman had just finished adding This Is Halloween from Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas when a large crash surfaced in the corner of his room. Not even raising his head from the list of songs he was currently immersed in, Roman addressed his visitor. "Greetings, brother." A groan surfaced from the other side of the room.
Aw, you ruined the surprise. I was totally going to scare your socks off.
I'm pretty sure that being within 10 feet of you is already enough to do the trick.
Oh, that's good. I was worried for a second that I was losing my repulsiveness.
Remus crawled over next to Roman, taking a seat beside him on the floor.
All right. What kind of sappy things are you working on this time? It's not sappy, it's festive, and what would you know anyway? Oh, don't get your sash in a twist. I'm just here to help.
Roman sighed, smiling slightly. Fine. I'm making a Halloween playlist for tonight.
Boring. Says you, Roman huffed.
I figured it would be fun if we all hung out together, though now I'm beginning to have second thoughts.
Whoa. Slow down. I wasn't dismissing your idea. I just think it needs a little spice.
Remus did jazz hands at the mention of the last word. Like cinnamon?
No, you nitwit. Like something to make things more interesting. Gosh, thought you were the smarter twin.
Compared to you, I believe I still hold that position. Roman fell into a fit of laughing as Remus shoved him to the side for his comment. Once he had composed himself, he snapped his fingers, causing a notepad and a pencil to appear in his hands. So, what do you propose we do tonight, then?
I have just the perfect idea.
Oh, no.
What?
Last time you said you had the perfect idea, the Mind Palace ended up covered in feathers.
Well, this idea isn't like that one. It's even better, Remus exclaimed.
Well, I'll get started on writing my will, then.
Would you just let me share it already?
Remus conjured a notepad and pencil of his own, though this paper was covered in stains and singed at the edges. The Duke began presenting his plan, Roman happily jotting down notes while Remus simply consumed the paper he had materialized. Together, they refined ideas and brainstormed until it hurt to think. Roman added final notes to what they had organized, doodling every so often within the margins of the page before snapping back to reality. After around an hour of perfect scheming, the twins glanced at each other with excitement, sinking out to the living room. Logan and Virgil had been both watching a documentary on space, while Patton frosted pumpkin cookies in the background, creating smiling ghosts and candy corn swirls on the baked goods. Janice sat upon a chair in the corner, comfortably turning the pages of his most recent murder mystery, a book genre both him and Logan had come to love. Patton had turned on music while he worked, providing a gentle melody within the concert band arrangements that flowed within the background. Everyone had found a comfortable peace, sounds of the documentary serenading with the turning of pages and an echoing of clarinets and timpani. The tranquil atmosphere changed, however, as the television suddenly flickered off, the room now occupied by the sounds of bickering and laughter.
"Sup, losers?"
Remus cackled, rising up with his twin brother. Thrilled expressions covered both their faces, and they seemed to practically be bouncing up and down with exhilaration.
"Oh, hey, kiddos!"
Patton momentarily looked up from his piping work to smile at Roman and Remus.
"What have you two been doing?"
Roman's eyes lit up.
"Devising the most brilliant plan of the century. After an hour of constant brainstorming, we have come up with a marvelous event, something that you all will be itching to participate in."
Doubtful, considering that as long as your planned exploits don't involve cats, there would be no cause for skin irritation. Not what I meant, Teach. Apologies.
"Just get to the good stuff already."
Remus pushed his brother aside, throwing his arms out wide.
"It's Halloween game night, and you all better get ready because we're going all in."
So we're betting with poker now?
"It's an idiom, Logan,"
Roman explained, pinching the bridge of his nose. Janice cleared his throat, setting his book upon the side of the armchair. As fun as this sounds, participation is optional, right? Because if you haven't noticed, I am very busy. Yeah, I'm with Janice, Virgil said. The last time you two had a brilliant plan, the imagination went up in flames. Both Roman and Remus frowned at the mention of this.
It wasn't our fault that the dragon witch started working out.
Keep telling yourself that. Janice had resumed reading his book, eyebrows raised as he neared the final chapters.
"You're all going to participate. We're going to have fun, and you don't have a choice since Remus and I already formed the teams. Janice, Remus, and Logan will all compete against Patton, Virgil, and myself in a series of themed games we have concocted."
Roman snapped his fingers, causing a jack-o'-lantern filled with several slips of paper to appear on the table. Beside it appeared 6 markers, each a different color of the rainbow, and a large whiteboard resting upon a silver easel. Roman and Remus both sat down on their respective sides, sending competitive glances at each other while the others reluctantly moved to their teams. Aside from Patton, who practically skipped over to his spot on the couch. Once everyone had settled, Roman jumped up, reciting the rules he and Remus had agreed on.
"All right, everyone. Our first game is Pictionary. A member from each team will draw a slip from the jack-o'-lantern and do their best to replicate it upon the whiteboard for their teammates to guess. Each correct guess earns the team a point if done within 60 seconds. If a team fails to guess the correct drawing, the point goes to the other team. Teams will alternate each round, a new member drawing each round as well. Questions?"
Yes. Janice raised his hand, standing up. I'm definitely feeling a bit under the weather, and I'm afraid I won't be able to participate.
"Nope."
Virgil grabbed Janice's arm, yanking him back down onto the couch. If I have to go through this stuff, then there's no way you're getting out of this.
That also wasn't a question. It was a statement. "Now, let's begin."
Roman threw his hands into the air, taking a seat next to his fellow teammates. Remus's team was up first, with Logan drawing. The logical side drew a paper, pondering for a moment before stepping up to the easel. He uncapped an orange marker and nodded in Roman's direction, signaling him to start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go! The prince shouted, and Logan was off. He carefully traced an isosceles triangle, using his fingers as an angular guide. He quickly finished off the shape, Remus and Janice already shouting out possible answers. Slice of pie.
Knife tip.
Witch hat?
Severed hand. Remus, that doesn't even make sense. Who are you to judge what hands are shaped like?
Logan simply shook his head and continued drawing, his process now slowed. He appeared to be faltering slightly, repeatedly drawing, then erasing lines. Both Janice and Remus shot confused glances his way, incorrect answers continuing to fill the air until the timer's sharp ping caused everyone to jump. Time's up, Roman grinned. What did you get, Logan? Candy corn. Remus remained speechless while Janice sighed. Out of all things, you were able to mess up a triangle with 3 lines? I was merely having difficulty finding the correct proportions of each layer. Good grief.
And that's a point to us, Patton happily exclaimed, tracing a small line upon the edge of the whiteboard. Looks like I'm up. Just a warning to you all, this drawing isn't for the paint of heart, and that's sure not sketching the truth.
Everyone groaned while Patton giggled in return, quickly glancing at a slip of paper and running the marker across the whiteboard as the timer was once again started. With a light blue marker, he traced a wavy outline, curved at the top with a flowing pattern at the bottom. 2 circular eyes were drawn, along with a round mouth and 2 little arms. Roman immediately jumped up, bouncing up and down as he shouted in answer. It's a ghost, an apparition, a spirit, whatever you want to call it.
You got it,
Patton smiled, setting down the marker.
Looks like that's another point for us.
You know, I figured out what me and that ghost have in common. Virgil smirked. We're both undeniably dead inside.
Kiddo, no. Next round, Remus interrupted. Double points. Janice is up to draw.
Fine. Janice slowly stood up, drawing a slip and immediately smiling. The timer was started, and he grabbed a yellow marker, simply drawing 2 rectangular strips.
Oh, I know this. The Thriller music video mix-up of 2019.
Correct. How? Logan stared at the two, utterly bewildered.
Janny and I have something comparable to a psychic link.
And what is this event you speak of? Let's just say that Remus is quite unpredictable, which often leads to many adventures.
Enough chit-chat, though. That's double points for us, which means we're tied.
But that means we have to go to... Roman started.
Yep, tiebreaker challenge. Winner takes all.
What are you two talking about? Virgil asked, searching for any hint as to what was about to go down. Roman was beaming now. Pumpkin spice battle. Best concoction wins. Anything goes as long as it's edible. This caused a groan to come from Remus's side. I'll put 30 minutes on the clock, and we'll return here when the timer goes off. Ready? Break. With that, the 2 teams separated, Patton dragging Virgil and Roman to the kitchen while Remus brought Janice and Logan to the imagination. Soon, the smell of cinnamon, pumpkin, and sugar filled the air as various items became a work in progress. Time quickly ticked down the clock, reaching the remaining 30 seconds in no time. Both teams raced to the living room, slamming their creations onto the counter just as the timer chimed. Competitive glances were shared between all the sides as Patton stepped up first, revealing his team's item. He excitedly lifted the covering, revealing a small orange-colored loaf.
Voila! Pumpkin spice spread, baked in the microwave for time purposes. Psh, that's nothing compared to ours.
Remus lifted a cloth of his own, revealing a small cup.
Observe.
Is that a pumpkin spice latte? Virgil hesitantly poked the cup.
Yep.
Because you're totally just one to make a normal pumpkin spice latte.
Oop, you've got us there, Emo. I do have a little surprise up my sleeve that's sure to bring us victory.
Logan immediately stiffened. Remus, I'm not sure this is the best idea.
Sure it is. Here, I'll show you.
The Duke retrieved a small red button.
Remus, no!
Janice leapt forward, trying to smack the remote from the Duke's hand just as he pressed the button. A large explosion rang out, covering the entire living room in a layer of spiced coffee. The walls were now dripping with a caramel-colored substance, the chairs soaked as well. Each slide slowly turned to face Remus, who was beaming chaotically. He cackled, wiping a bit of latte from his mustache as the others glared at him, aside from Patton, who was tasting the sugary beverage.
You can definitely taste the pumpkin spice,
he muttered, immersed in a world of his own. Well, I suppose that will have to remain at a draw then. Roman attempted to squeeze excess coffee from his sash. I am in desperate need of a shower. I second that, Virgil agreed, scowling at the purple hair that was now plastered upon his forehead. He slunk off, followed by everyone except the Creativa twins. Remus was still grinning from ear to ear, admiring his work. Roman chuckled to himself. You just always have to be extra, don't you?
Oh, shut up. You had fun.
That I did. Do you think the others enjoyed our little plan?
To some extent, Remus shrugged. I'm still counting it as a victory in my book.
And now we'll have a new addition to your weird holiday stories.
Yes, the pumpkin spice immersive experience of 2021. I'm already imagining the movie posters.
Hey, Ree?
Shh, I'm brainstorming.
Remus held his fingers in his ears. Roman pulled his hands away.
Just listen for a second.
Thank you for tonight. I had fun, and I can't wait to see what we come up with next year. He smiled, giving a mock salute before sinking out to his room, probably to remove the mess of sugar and pumpkin from his clothing. Remus was now alone in the Mind Palace living room, and he couldn't help but giggle to himself. With one last taste of the liquid now dripping down the walls, Remus sunk out, humming Beetlejuice tunes to himself as he arrived back into his room. Not caring about the sticky substance that now covered his clothes, Remus flopped into bed, a huge smile still covering his face.
Best Halloween ever.
This has been Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice, a short story written by myself. Thank you so much for listening, and happy Halloween to those of you actually listening on the day, and for those of you not, happy Halloween anyway. See you next time.